Good morning, I'm Craig Negrelli. It's Friday, November 29th, 2024, and these are your Unbiased Updates. President-elect Trump says Mexico has agreed to stem the tide of migrants flowing into the United States. What Mexico's president is now saying about that particular assertion. And Amazon workers used Black Friday to make a statement about their labor situation, the strike that is now underway, and how it might affect online shopping.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world, these are today's Unbiased Updates.
As President-elect Trump gets ready to return to office, he's already making moves to follow through on some of his biggest campaign promises. After announcing this week his plans to impose tariffs on goods from China, Canada, and Mexico, he turned his attention to another hot-button issue: immigration. It's a bit of a case of he said, she said, after Donald Trump had a call with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on Wednesday. President-elect Trump posting on his Truth Social platform after the call, saying Sheinbaum agreed to stop migration into the U.S. through Mexico, quote, effectively closing our southern border. Sheinbaum appearing to contradict Donald Trump in a post of her own on X, saying in part, quote, Mexico's position is not to close borders. She did, however, lay out Mexico's comprehensive strategy for addressing the migration issue. In a separate post on X, Sheinbaum said during the call she told the president-elect, quote, no caravans are arriving at the border because they are being attended to in Mexico. The two leaders also talked about how they're addressing the U.S. fentanyl crisis. The call was scheduled after Donald Trump unveiled plans to slap 25% tariffs on all imports from Mexico to the U.S. as part of the effort to stem the flow of illegal drugs into the United States through Mexico. Not only would that impact the prices of avocados and agave, both very popular in the U.S., Mexico's economy secretary said Wednesday 88% of all North American pickup trucks come from Mexico. Sheinbaum then suggested Mexico could retaliate with tariffs of its own. But during her daily news briefing on Thursday, Sheinbaum told reporters, quote, there will be no potential tariff war between the U.S. and Mexico. President Biden weighed in on Trump's tariff plans while paying a Thanksgiving visit to first responders in Nantucket.
I hope he rethinks it. I think it's a counterproductive thing to do. You know, look, one of the things you've heard me say before that we have an unusual situation in America. We're surrounded by the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and two allies, Mexico and Canada. And the last thing we need to do is begin to screw up those relationships.
Economists forecast Donald Trump's planned tariffs could increase prices for American shoppers, costing the average U.S. household about $2,600 per year. That's according to an estimate from the Peterson Institute for International Economics. Barely 3 days into a 60-day ceasefire between Israel and the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah in Lebanon, and both sides are claiming violations. On Thursday, Israel carried out its first airstrike since the agreement was reached, saying it targeted a rocket storage facility in southern Lebanon that breached the ceasefire deal. Lebanese authorities also say 2 people who were trying to return to southern Lebanon were shot and wounded by Israeli forces. Lebanon's health ministry says they were civilians, but the IDF claims they were suspected of violating terms of the truce. The agreement, brokered by the United States and France, includes an initial 2-month ceasefire, during which Hezbollah militants will withdraw north of the Litani River, and Israeli forces are to return to their side of the border. Amazon workers in more than 20 countries, including the United States, are on strike on some of the busiest pre-Christmas shopping days across the world. Here in the U.S., today is Black Friday, a day for bargain hunters to score some of the biggest discounts from stores across the country as holiday shopping kicks into high gear. The strike is set to continue through the weekend into Cyber Monday, when online retailers generally offer their biggest deals. Organizers told the United Nations the so-called Days of Resistance are to hold Amazon accountable for alleged labor abuses, as well as, quote, environmental degradation and threats to democracy. According to ABC News, the strike could delay holiday deliveries. The organizers say this will be their 5th year of labor action against Amazon during the beginning of the holiday shopping season. In a statement, Amazon said the group that organized the strike is being, quote, intentionally misleading and promoting a false narrative. Management says the company offers great pay and benefits. Canada's antitrust watchdog says it is suing Google over alleged anti-competitive conduct in the company's online advertising business. They're calling for Google to sell off 2 of its ad tech services and pay a penalty. The Competition Bureau said it's necessary because an investigation into Google found the company unlawfully tied together its ad tech tools to maintain its dominant market position. Google insists the online advertising market is a highly competitive sector and is fighting the allegations. This comes just a week after the U.S. Department of Justice asked a federal judge to force Google to sell its Chrome web browser, saying it continues to crush the competition through its dominant search engine. Now that we've given thanks and the leftovers are stuffed in Tupperware in the fridge, many people are moving on to their Christmas preparations. As millions of Americans get ready to begin their search for the perfect tree, growers are having historic challenges getting them to sale lots, according to the Wall Street Journal. The day after Thanksgiving, by the way, is usually the biggest day for live tree sales. But since Thanksgiving came so late this year, it's a very short selling season. On top of that, a nationwide shortage is expected thanks to severe weather across the country this year, such as the northeastern drought and North Carolina floods after Hurricane Helene. The state of North Carolina is the second biggest supplier of Christmas trees in the entire country. Shoppers bought roughly 21.5 million real Christmas trees in the U.S. last year, according to the National Christmas Tree Association. Also, the Department of Agriculture says the number of trees harvested in the U.S. has declined 30% since 2002, while the American population has grown 16% over that same time period. Finally this morning, back to Thanksgiving for a story that shows just how far or high some people will go to make sure others get to enjoy the holidays with their families. This is a great story. In the most remote parts of Alaska, a Thanksgiving turkey is hard to come by. So, look at this. One woman made sure families in roadless parts of the state had their holiday feast. The pilot, Esther Kime, calls it the Alaska Turkey Bomb. She flies in a small plane to off-the-grid homes and airdrops frozen turkeys to families to enjoy for Thanksgiving. How fantastic is that? Kime says it's a tribute to a family friend who did the same thing for her family when she was growing up. She started the tradition in 2022 after somebody that she knew told her they did not have much of a holiday dinner and no turkey at all. Since then, she delivers 30 to 40 turkeys every year to families living in remote areas of Alaska. That's one way to kick off the season of giving. Those are your unbiased updates for this Black Friday. We'll see you back here on Monday. For all of us here at Straight Arrow News, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Have a fantastic Friday and a great weekend.